What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in the last video we left off saying that we were going to be doing something with the Trailblazer, and I have it in my possession now, so I can give you guys a little bit of a glimpse of what we're doing. I did get a little excited, and I'll show you that. But before we get to that, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on the Chevelle. So we did end up getting it back here in the shop, and I'll show you what it looks like. So here it is. It's back in the garage. Got it all cleaned up and everything moved around so I could fit it in here with a little bit of decent walking space. So it is really dirty. It needs to be washed, and yeah, all that needs to be fixed. But the wife started writing on it. Whatever, I guess. But now we just need to get a motor in this thing. It's all dirty on the inside and needs to be cleaned. But we ended up doing a little bit of rearranging in the shop, so I have a little bit of more room. Don't look at that stuff yet. But I got everything set up the way I want it now. And I got this set up to where I can have all my oil on the top and whatever else on the bottom. And I did get a little carried away already. So I got the bumper and the grill off of it, and this little bumper, the inside actual bumper, was already cut from the previous owner when it was pro charged with an intercooler, so that's gonna help out a lot. Thought I had the exhaust sold, so I took that off already. Had to take this driver's side valve cover off. But, so, at least I got a decent bit of working room. So the old exhaust, these are supposedly stainless works headers, 3-inch all the way back to this X pipe, 2 3-inch neighbor hater mufflers, and these two pieces right here go to the center exit exhaust. And with that being said, if anybody wants the old exhaust, I'll link my email or put it in the description, and you guys can buy that. So now I'll show you guys what we're going to be doing to this thing. It's going to be a little bit of a process because there's a couple of things I want to do to it before it goes on the Trailblazer, and it's not going to happen right away, but at least I'll show you guys what we got. So this is a Huron Speed turbo kit. It comes in a whole package of everything you should need, and I got most of the other stuff on the bottom there. But driver's side is still just a header. The Trailblazer has a really tight fitment from the fender well to the engine. So it'll sit kind of like that. It'll be facing upwards. And then the wastegate goes onto there. It'll look a little bit better once I get everything's Cerakoted, because I do not want to use heat wrap. So passenger side log manifold header, the crossover tube in the downpipe, and probably the exhaust housing on the turbo will all get Cerakoted. That way it will kind of retain the heat and don't have to worry about it getting too hot in there. But the turbo is a S480, does have a billet wheel. This kit has never been used. It looks a little old. It was sitting around a little bit, so it's got some surface rust, but that'll all get blasted away when it gets Cerakoted. It has a 44 millimeter wastegate. Over here is the gigantic intercooler from Huron Speed. Blow-off valve is a standard 50 millimeter. Nothing too fancy, but should do just fine. So now that everything's been kind of addressed, I want to try to get the intercooler and the cold side mounted up. That way I can see where everything needs to go and reroute whatever coolers that I have that need to be moved. And I'll probably mount up the hot side too and just kind of mock it up to see where everything is going to be at. And I've also got to figure out where I'm going to be putting the turbo drain, and hopefully we can figure something out and make sure that this is going to fit. But everybody uses these kits. It should be just simple plug and play for the most part, and a couple of things you got to do. but other than that, everything bolts up. But the video is going to be maybe a couple of days long. It's not going to be all done today. I got a lot of stuff to do today. My wife's been asking me to do a couple of things, so should probably do them while I got the time. So another thing I wanted to ask your guys' opinion on was the choice of color that I want to do on the intake and the turbo compressor housing. The intake's already flaking. Somebody painted it with automotive paint before, and it's starting to flake. Doesn't look the greatest. There's a couple of choices I wanted to do. It was either going to be a illusion purple or a royal blue, but I'm kind of in between on those two because the truck's blue, everything's blue. The inside of the engine bay was painted blue to match the outside. I'm just kind of torn on which one I want to go to because I don't know if I do blue and it's going to make everything extra blue and just look overkill, but purple might be a little bit of an accent color. I don't know. So you can see on the intake where it's flaking, doesn't look the greatest. It needs to be redone anyhow. I got to put a new gasket in between the top and the bottom plenums. I was also kind of thinking about getting the alternator a different color, just kind of making it look a little bit better in here. It doesn't really look the best to this aluminum. It could be shined up, the water pump, I don't know. Everything on here, the radiator, the overflow is all polished aluminum. Well, it's been about 2 weeks, but we got the hot side back and we're gonna show you that real quick. So I had a buddy of mine in Canton, South Dakota. His name is Jacob Zemmel. He owns Midwest Precision there, and he does all of the powder coating and Cerakote, and he also does a lot of other things for performance automotive cars and stuff like that. He does it all. So it's pretty much like a one-stop shop. He'll get you right. And these things came out perfect. I love the way it came out. Couldn't have asked for any better. So this coating actually does a couple of things for this exhaust. One, heat containment. It will keep this exhaust fairly decently cool. That way I do not have to run heat wrap. I do not want to run heat wrap. I do not like the fiberglass insulation. And this just looks a whole lot better. Second thing would be corrosion resistance. It will not rust. It will not discolor. It won't look goofy. So this is going to be very nice to be on the Trailblazer. I did not do the wastegate housing. Didn't really care about it, but that's the only thing that didn't get Cerakoted. So this is the passenger side manifold. Came out perfect. You can even still see the lettering on the here on speed. Looks great. Exhaust turbine housing. Driver side manifold, downpipe, and crossover tube. So there was 3 different colors that we had to choose from, and we went with black, but there was silver and gold involved too, and I just told Jacob to figure out which one he thought would look best, and it came out as black. But they do look great. I will give him that. Looks awesome. This turbo exhaust housing was super rusty from what he said, and now he got it looking brand new. But installing that is going to be in this next video because I'm going to end this one off by showing you the new pickup I got. So I talked to you guys before in the last video that I wanted to be getting a new pickup, something that I can daily drive. But I also wanted it to be something that I really liked, and I'm not going to drive a boring car, but anyhow. So this is a 2014 5.3 standard cab, short box, 4-wheel drive. And this, the whole truck has 118,000 miles on it. So it's got a catch can already for the PCV, crossed over for the valve covers, cold air intake. And I did clean this filter out already. That's one of the first things I do if I see an aftermarket cold air intake. And before anybody says it, yes, we already did shut off the DOD with HP tuners. Everything like that's been disabled. You know, you did a little bit of a tune to it, but nothing too crazy. So this is a 3.5 drop from somebody, I don't remember the name, but I do have drop shackles to go in the back if I wanted to get it lowered. I did tint it already also, so 20% on the sides and 35% on the windshield. But no center console, that'll be coming soon. Small radio, don't really like that thing. But other than that, it's actually pretty decent. The seats are in good shape, the interior is in good shape. It's got that tonneau cover on it. It's not too bad. But this is definitely a step up from mine because, as you can see, this thing has power windows, power locks, and decent speakers. So that'll be it for this video, but if you guys like this type of content, drop a like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and that would be greatly appreciated. So keep an eye out for this next video getting posted. We're going to get all that bolted up to the Trailblazer, and we'll see how far we get and what else we need to buy for it, because I know there's going to be a couple of things that aren't going to go right, and then I'll have to either do something or buy more parts. So we'll see. We'll get as far as we can with it in this next video. So peace.